Hello everyone, I'm Mike Brody with Emergent Communications. We're here to tell you a little bit about the need for connectivity for the industry here. Basically the way we think about this is, AgTech, which is what everyone here is doing, can only go as far as possible without a reliable internet connection. So far too often in the agriculture industry and frankly in all rural industries in general, you spend all this money on AgTech, on smart devices that are out there, and there's simply no connectivity available to get that data in real time. So we think about this. I'm a telecom guy, not an agriculture guy, but our co-founding partners are many of them are from the ag industry. But we think about it as saying, if you didn't have internet access in your office, how would you be able to do your job? And when we think about farmers and growers and ranchers and everybody in the ag industry, we literally are putting them in a scenario where when they go to their office, which is a field, their cell phones don't work. The smart devices that they just spent thousands of dollars on in many instances can't communicate with the internet because there's no network above them that's effective. It's not always the case, but the more remote you go, that is certainly becomes the predominant situation. So how do we fix that? What has to happen for the industry is we need a wireless IoT network that is pervasive everywhere in rural America. And what does that mean? An IoT network is basically a network that is purpose-built for devices and machines to communicate to each other, right? It is not a network that we all use. The internet that we know is built for human consumption, where we call people, we talk to people, we video FaceTime people, do Zoom calls, and then most importantly, we stream video incessantly. Those networks are expensive to build, which is why they don't happen in rural America, because there's just not enough density to get them built. But what can work is an IoT network, and the way I like to describe them is, think of all the smart devices you have in your personal life, at your home, in your office, your Ring doorbell camera, your iPhone watch, your Nest thermostats. Those things all connect to the internet via Wi-Fi. We all know what that is. It's how our phone connects when you walk in your house. Well, an IoT network is basically the industrial version of Wi-Fi. It's what the industries use to communicate. And what we're going to do at Emergent, my company, is we're going to build an IoT network purpose-built for the ag industry and ag tech in general, and rural municipalities and energy industries, everybody that operates in the rural communities. And the advantages of that network are as follows. So the network we're going to deploy uses a technology called LoRa, Long Range Wide Area Networks. It is a global standard for IoT networks. And the advantages of LoRa, which many of the vendors in this area have used in the past. But LoRa has a couple of really important characteristics. One, it's incredibly long range because the way it's designed, a LoRa network can communicate with a device that's up to 10 miles away. If the terrain supports it, especially in flat open areas. But anywhere from 8 to 12 miles tends to be the range. If you compare that to a cellular network, if you're not standing within about 3 miles of a cell site, you have no connectivity. So again, if you think about a typical farm, they may have cellular connectivity at the farm gate where they're at the edge of the farm, but when you go out a few thousand acres, or if you have uncontiguous or non-contiguous acres and you're getting more and more remote, that becomes a real problem. So coverage is the first advantage. The second one, the way these LoRa networks work, is they operate in what's called a low power mode. So if you have a device, a smart device, that is constantly pinging a network looking for service, they need to be recharged multiple times a day, just like our iPhones. That's a perfect example. If you've ever been on an airplane and you leave your phone on, by the time you get off the plane, the battery is completely dead. These devices that work on our network literally can last for 10 years on a single charge. So if you think about a soil health or a soil moisture sensor, there's several vendors and companies here at this show that are promoting those. Those devices can literally have a battery in them that will last for 7, 8, 10 years, depending on how often it's connecting to the network. So it is incredibly efficient for the user, the grower or the farmer. And the third characteristic that's really important is it's highly secure. They use the communication link between the device and the gateway, or like a cell site, is 100% encrypted. So when you're traversing these really long areas, and we know how important data privacy is to industries, particularly like agriculture, that's a really important attribute. So when we build this network, those are going to be the characteristics that support it. And what we're going to do at Emergent is we're going to build this network to cover the entire rural footprint of America, 2.5 million square miles of space, so that there is a single network that the entire supply chain can rally behind. So if you think about cellular networks that are run by AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile, those networks have been around for 20 years. An entire ecosystem has built up around them, and you have versatility of products, right? So there's 50 different phones you can choose from because they all have been pre-configured to work with AT&T's network, the spectrum bands that they use. We don't really have that in the ag industry. Today, you have people trying to use cellular, people trying to use Wi-Fi. You have a lot of end users that are building their own private little LoRa-enabled networks. And what we're going to do is build one, and we're going to operate it at what we call a carrier-grade type of network. And what does that mean? So when we talk about carrier networks, what we'll do at Emergent is, number one, we will build the network at no cost to the end user. We will take the risk. We're going to build the network. It's frankly what telecom companies do for a living. So I'm not pretending that we're doing something noble. That's what we do. The Acre Shield guys that were just here had a great saying where, we all say things like, build it and they will come. But what they just said was, if you build it and you solve a problem, then they will come. And I love the way they do that. And that's what we think we're going to do. So we've launched our first market out in California. We've today announced the launch of our market out in the Midwest here in the Northwest Ohio, Indiana corridor. And we intend to cover every rural county and community out there, including the 1.5 million square miles of agricultural designated lands. The other thing that we'll do, which is really important as a network carrier, when we build this network, we will maintain the network for the users. So you won't have to install your own access points and gateways and worry about whether or not the network is working right. So we'll do that for our customers. So when we build the network, we will operate it. We will onboard your devices, whether it's an end user or a company that is selling connected devices, and then we monitor the network. If a gateway goes down, we roll a truck to repair it. We don't wait for the customer to call us. So we monitor our network 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We will also could monitor the actual devices that are deployed as a part of that, because we can see them on our network. We can see if they're communicating. And last but not least, one of the other benefits that we will do for our customers, because we have all these devices on the networks, we will create these easy-to-use dashboards that'll show you what your devices are doing. So if you have multiple devices, smart devices or IoT devices on your network, you tend to have lots of apps to support them. So you may have soil moisture apps, soil health apps, devices that are monitoring humidity levels in your grain bins and stuff like that, and you have 5 different places you have to go look for that. One of the advantages of having this on a common network is you'll be able to sort of see a dashboard that shows you all of that. We don't get involved in what you're doing with that data, so whoever you're buying it from has a management platform that's doing all the analytics. We don't see that. Just like a regular cell network carrier knows where you're going, they see the data, but they don't know what you're doing on it. And we operate the exact same way at Emergent. So that's basically what the role, we think the importance of an IoT network is incredibly important to sort of boost all that ag tech that's going on in the marketplace. And when you have a consistent, persistent network that everyone can rally behind, it's really going to boost the ecosystem out there. So with that, I'll end. I know we're on tight schedules here. If you want to know anything more about what we're doing at Emergent, our booth is 211 on the last spine here, and we'll be happy to talk to you guys. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.